And I'm on a yoga mat, but you can be on a rug. You could be on the hard wood. It just doesn't feel great. You could have a towel. You don't need any fancy equipment. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips, spread the fingers. And on your inhale, arch your back, lift your chin, stick your butt up towards the ceiling. And on your exhale, round your back. Like your mid-spine wants to touch the ceiling. Again, inhale, arch. And exhale to round. We'll do this 3 more times. You can even close your eyes. Exhale to round. If this is hurting your wrists at all, just come down to your forearms. I'll show you what that looks like. We'll inhale again. And exhale to round. If you came down to your forearms, your movement will be just a little bit less grandiose. 1 more breath. Inhale. And exhale. And let's meet in a neutral spine. If you're on the forearms, return to your palms. And let's lift the knees off the ground and press to downward dog, which you've probably at least seen in the movies. It's like a V position. And if you're new to this, you're gonna have your knees bent and your heels off the ground. Shake out your head no, nod your head yes, so that your head is just dangling. There's no tension in the neck. Let's place the left heel either on the floor or close to the floor. You can just bend your right knee more to make that happen. And then we'll switch. The right heel has a chance to touch down. The left knee bends more. And just alternate a few more times on whatever pace works for you. The knee that's bent, you can get quite a bit of toe crunch going on. It feels pretty good. If you don't articulate your feet much, you won't need to drop your knee very far to make that happen. It's a nice deep flexion through the ball of the foot. Okay. Let's bring the right foot forward between the hands. And we'll lower the left knee down. Let's bring the hands up to the right thigh. You decide how much you bend this front leg and decide if you need a book or a block or a pillow. I'm just gonna face you to show you the side bend. So we'll have our left hand down, either on the floor or on a prop. I'll reach the right arm up. And as we reach over to the side, it will feel reminiscent of what you did when you were on your butt. You're just gonna drop your right hip down toward the floor. And you might decide that after a few breaths here, you want something different for your left hand. Take 1 more breath here. In through the nose, out through the nose. We'll rise up and just change sides. There's a million ways that you can change sides. Somehow, just wind up with your left foot in front. Your right knee down behind you. You can, of course, pat it up with a pillow. And we'll place the hands on that left thigh. We'll nudge that left knee forward. The chest is up. And when you're ready, grab hold of whatever you had. You don't really have to have anything. If you want to touch the floor, it's there for you. And we'll reach up and over to the side for an exhale. If possible, have your inhale be the same number of seconds as your exhale. Okay, and we'll come through center, and we're going to meet in plank. I'm just going to face the long way again. We'll bring our hands down, and we'll extend the legs back. If this is too much to have your legs straight, just place the knees down. Life is a little easier then. Take 1 more breath. We're going to slowly come all the way to the belly. Once you get there, untuck your toes, interlace the fingers behind your back, and start to reach your knuckles toward your feet. Your chest will lift. Press your pubic bone down. And each inhale, think of lengthening yourself, both forward and back, away from the core. Each exhale, maybe you come up a little bit higher. Take one more breath. Let's release the hands. We'll place them under the shoulders. We'll just curl up a little bit higher by pushing down into the hands and pulling them back slightly toward the hips. Let's press the downward dog. We'll lift the butt up again and either have straight legs with the heels pressing down, or if you're new to the game, heels up, knees bent. And you might be heels up, knees bent for a decade. That is how long it could take to unravel. Take one more breath here. And we're going to step the right foot forward so that we can rise up to a high lunge, arms up. On your exhale, bend your left leg and open your arms up to a T, gazing over your right shoulder. Inhale, straight forward again, reaching up. We'll do that 2 more times. Exhale, we twist and we put a little bend in the back leg. Inhale, we untwist. 1 more time. Exhale, looking back if you can balance there. Inhale. This is a high lunge. Let's just pivot around to the other side so that you're in your lunge facing your left leg. And on your exhale, we'll bend the right leg a little bit or a lot, you choose. Inhale, re-straighten it, reach up and look forward. Exhale, we twist, we try to look back. Inhale, untwist, look forward. And 1 more time. And let's pivot around to the first side. We'll meet in warrior 2. I'm going to pop around in a sec so that I can still be facing you. So our right foot will face the front, whatever the front is for you, and the back leg will face the side. Arms out. And we'll just straighten the front leg some amount, possibly all the way. Exhale, bend about 90 degrees. 2 more times. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend. Try to keep the arms strong. 1 more time. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. And we'll inhale to straighten so that we can pivot on the feet and then bend the left leg on the exhale. 3 times here. If your arms are tired, just put your hands on your hips. Your legs are so strong that they can do this. The arms are not as used to such activities. Take 1 more breath here. You're just pairing your movement and your breath. So when you get to the top of the breath, you're at the top of the movement. Bottom of the breath is bottom of the movement. Let's lower the hands to the floor. You can face any direction you want. And we're going to return to that downward dog shape. Make a choice, heels up or down, knees straight or bent. And let's bring the right leg forward for pigeon. This is a pretty common pose, so you might already know it. Our right knee is in the vicinity of the right wrist. The right foot can be really anywhere between your left hip and your left hand. There's quite a range there, and it's going to depend on your flexibility of your hip, but also what is your back comfortable with. So once you decide what you're going to do with that right foot, walk the fingers out a bit and start to lower your head down. You might want to keep your arms walking out. You might want to make a pillow with your forearms. If you find that your hip is so tight that the pose is very difficult and you're tense, move your right foot closer to your left hip. You want to be able to somewhat relax in this pose for right now. There are many ways that we do this pose that are strong. But for right now, let gravity take you. Okay, We're going to rise up. We're going to rock to that outer right hip so that we can swing the left leg forward and bring our right foot to the left inner thigh so that we're sitting up tall with about 90 degrees between the thighs. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, reach out over your straight leg. You might find your foot, you might hold your knee, or anywhere in between. You stare at your foot. There's nothing to see on the camera screen, so you might as well look at your foot, spread your toes, see that your toes are facing the ceiling, your kneecap is facing the ceiling, and we reach our right armpit toward that left foot. Okay, next, inhale, rise up, reach up, and then your exhale, twist to the right, lower the fingers, and now it's like your belly button is aiming over your bent knee. We'll just keep our left hand where it is, just on the ground there. Inhale your right arm up, and exhale to side bend out over that left leg. Just any amount. And it will be reminiscent of the other two side bends we've done. We're just going to keep reaching. And on your exhale, you're going to lean that right shoulder back a little more. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, twist, open. One more time. Next inhale, we'll rise all the way up, and we'll find our pigeon with the left leg in front. So you can just bend your left knee, rock onto your left hip, and swing your right leg back. And then once you're squaring your hips, you'll have to make a choice, where does your foot go? If you do have some space between your left hip and the ground, you could put a blanket or a towel there to support you. Choose what you want to do with your hands. Coming to the forearms like this is a pretty common choice. Reaching forward is a common choice. If you want to get your head down to relax your forehead into something, if the floor is too far away, you can just be on the elbows and put your thumb there between your eyebrows. Sometimes that's a calming action, just getting something to touch between the brows. And if your head can't go to the floor, you just can move the floor up to your head with props. Okay, we'll start to rise up. We're gonna rock to that left hip, swing the right leg forward. I'm just gonna change my angle so camera can catch that bent leg. And this left foot is gonna press into the right thigh. Inhale for height, and exhale to fold any amount. So the right kneecap and foot are facing the ceiling. It's fine if you can't hold your foot. If you have any pain in the hamstring by keeping this leg straight, just bend the leg. And then your grip will change, but also your hamstring stretch will change. Take one more full breath here. Try to equalize your inhale and your exhale. And our next inhale will rise up. Exhale will twist to the left so that we're facing that bent leg. Inhale the left arm up, and exhale, side bend any amount. Just continue at your pace. We'll be here for 5 breaths, but it will be 5 of my breaths, which might not actually equal your breaths. That is one of the challenges of group practice. When you practice alone, you do whatever you want. Okay, let's rise up, and we're going to meet in that plank position again, with our hands under the shoulders and our legs either straight back behind us or knees on the floor for some extra support. We'll stay here for the inhale, and we'll press to downward dog for the exhale. So the butt lifts up and the chest moves toward the legs. Inhale to plank with knees up or down, and exhale to downward dog with legs straight or bent. And we'll do this 3 more times. Inhale, we reach the top of the breath when we're in the full pose. Exhale, press through your fingers so your chest moves towards your legs. 2 more times. Inhale forward. Exhale back. One more time. Inhale forward. And exhale back. Okay, let's bend one knee at a time. Walk your feet forward toward your hands. They don't have to go all the way forward. And we're just going to squat. We'll have our heels in, closer than our toes, so we're kind of a duck foot. And if squatting is hard on your hips, you could take a yoga block, which if you're not already a yogi, it's kind of an odd thing to have in your house. So anything would work. A stack of paper towels could work. So hands together, and the elbows are pressing the knees slightly out. And just take 2 more breaths here. Ideally, the heels are on the floor, but if you have very tight Achilles, they might not be just yet. Okay, and let's gently place our butt down, and we're gonna lay down. Just for a simple bridge. If you have a ponytail, move it out of the way. Get your heels close enough to you that you can feel your heels with your fingertips. And we'll press into the feet so that we can lift our hips. And roll the shoulders under you so that you can interlace your fingers. And to roll the shoulders under, you'll literally have to move onto your left shoulder to get the right arm to go, and roll onto your right shoulder to get the left arm to go. Work your legs, push down through your feet so that you feel your hips come up. And slowly release your hands, come on down to your back. We'll bring our right ankle to the lower left thigh, flex the foot, and reach through your leg and around the left leg to interlace your fingers on the left shin. If that's too far away, interlace your fingers instead on the left hamstring. And we'll just gently pull that left knee in toward us. Coming with it is that right ankle and foot. And we'll use our mind to push that right knee slightly away so that we're opening the hip. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Slowly release the hands, and we'll change sides. The feet can come down again for the reset, and place the left ankle on the lower right thigh. Reach through, interlace, and any amount, pull it in. You can always change your mind midway through. So if you were holding your shin and you're bringing your knee toward you, but it feels like too much in the hip, just change it over to the hamstring. Or if you're on the hamstring and it's too easy, change it over to the shin. Okay, slowly let that go. And we'll just rise up to sitting. Let's bring the legs out in a V position. Flex the feet, kneecaps face the ceiling, and we're just going to walk the hands forward. If you feel like they're going nowhere, you might instead want to bring your fingers behind you and just try to sit up tall. If you feel very comfortable with the fold and you don't feel like you need your hands to support you, you can put your hands on your feet. And we'll just take a few more breaths here. Inhale up and bring the soles of the feet together. Heels close to your pelvis if you can. We'll interlace the fingers around the toes, and we'll roll the shoulders back so that we're sitting up tall. Either stay like this, or just to test the core strength, reach forward. If when you reached forward, you lost the upward feeling of the pose, then return your hands either to interlace on the fingers or behind you, again, to prop you up like earlier. Okay, let's start to fold forward a bit here. We're going to open up the feet like a book so that the soles of the feet start to face up. The knees will drop a little bit lower down. And we'll just pull our chest forward as if it's going to touch our toes. The back stays pretty much the same. We're just hinging at the hip, like you're closing the door, that kind of a hinge. Maybe you can increase the length of breath here. You can always count the seconds and tack on an extra second. Rise up and cross the legs somehow that's comfortable for you. Any way that you can sit up and not fall over. I'm just going to bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the chest, close the eyes. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale again, you'll feel your chest lift up to your hand. And exhale, you'll feel your belly draw in toward your spine. One more breath like this. Let's bring the hands to a prayer position in front of the chest. Inhale. And exhale. The same things are happening through the ribs and belly, just that our hands are different. Inhale. Expand. Exhale. Stay tall. Just feel your belly draw in. One more time like that. Inhale. Exhale. Lift your hands up so your thumbs are between your eyebrows. Inhale. And exhale. Two more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. This time as you exhale, fold forward any amount so that you can seal in the practice.